Page 36, I'd like to teach the world to sing. The top of the page, they're introducing you to a new thing we're having in music. You haven't learned yet, but you're about to. Called a phrase mark. Oh. Relax, let me explain this. A phrase, you gotta know what a phrase is. Then you can understand sort of what the mark is about. A phrase is a musical sentence. You see, when we talk, we just normally talk blah blah blah. We talk in sentences, more or less. So, I mean, most people talk in sentences. When you're reading a book or something, you see it's in sentences, usually. Well, music can be in sentences too, and usually is, in musical sentences. And if you listen to them, you can sort of understand where they are. So, it's like, take the first line of this, I'd like to teach thingy. Just listen to the melody. See, that was one sentence, one musical thought. It just kind of goes and then a new sentence starts. That's another sentence, and a new sentence starts. It's in sentences, a musical sentence. That's called a phrase. They're in phrases. Well, you can, you don't have to, but a lot of music does. It indicates the phrase, it points it out to you with this big long curved line. This is the same curved line as the tie, but for a different purpose. This is where I say this curved line is for different things and it can get confusing as to what it's for. Well, it's usually not too hard to tell the difference between a phrase and a tie. Because a tie is just two notes and it's got to be the same note. A phrase can be any number of notes. And they're usually not the same note. Could be, but usually not. The idea with phrasing is you want to, it's like taking a breath. Just a really quick breath. You don't mess up the beat. The beat has to stay steady. You're just cutting the last note of the phrase just a little bit short. You lift up just to take a breath. So in that last measure, the first line here, you end a phrase. Before I play the E, I'm not going to connect them. I'm going to lift up. Just a light lift up. Don't go way up. Don't get too carried away here. It's just lift up. And between each phrase, I'm going to do that. That's putting in the phrasing. Now we have a thing in music called articulation. We haven't gotten there yet, but we're going to get there. And when I go through a piece and learn it, and I learn it in stages, the phrasing is part, to me, is part of the articulation. So first I have a particular way of learning things, and so the phrasing, I stick that in eventually. But when I'm first learning a piece, I don't worry about phrasing, I don't worry about any of that. I play everything connected, like with the fingers. So I just play it. So forget the phrasing right now. I'll talk more about it when we get there. So let's look this piece over. We got a grand staff, treble and bass clefs, 4/4 time again, so 4 counts in a measure, quarter note gets a count. It has a pickup beat, with 1 beat in that first measure, so we're coming in on beat 4. If you look at the last measure, wherever it is at the top of page 37. See, the top line on page 37 is actually this piece. It goes, it's 3 counts in that. And that's okay. That's the first 3 counts, and then beat 4 is at the beginning. Okay. And we got quarter notes and dotted half notes, and I don't know, I don't see any whole notes anywhere, just quarter notes and dotted half notes. All right. And you got the phrasing, which we'll deal with later. Right now, first thing is I want to make sure I can play all the notes. Right. And since this piece is only using one hand at a time, when you're not playing the hands together yet, it's just one hand, I'm going to go ahead and take both hands together. If it were playing both hands at the same time, then I'd just do one hand, and then I'd do the other, and then I'd put them together. But if it's only playing one hand at a time, we can do them both. Oh. So we're starting out in the left hand, third finger on the A. You're here. That puts the hand in this position. Now when the right hand comes in there in the last 2 measures of the first line, second finger's here. So that puts my hand in this position. I'm in middle C position. So start at the beginning. And again, you need to know the name of these notes, so drill yourself if you don't know them. And just play them. Each one gets one count. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you go through the whole piece that way. And remember, the last line of this is at the top of page 37. So at the bottom of page 36, you're here. 1, 2, 3. You just keep going to the top of page 37. You see, it doesn't matter how it's printed or what page it's on or nothing. The beat goes on. So if you got more on another page, you keep going. Yeah. And that gets interesting when you have to make a page turn, but I'll talk about that when we have to make a page turn. Then go back and get rid of the hesitation. So it's a steady beat. It can be slow, but it's got to be a steady, solid beat. Try and get it where you're not looking at the keyboard. You can feel this. You can look at the notes. You know which finger is on that key, and you're just playing that finger for that key. You're playing the note and using whatever finger's on it. That's the way it works. Then once you get all that, then we add the phrasing. Well, here you're lifting up between the phrases. Wherever they are, whatever hand's involved, it doesn't matter. So at the beginning, it's here. You connect all these together. It's called legato. Remember, the legato is connected. And then when we get to the end of the phrase, before we go on, lift up. The beat is steady. 1, 2, 3. It's like taking a breath. And the end of the second line, you're here. 1, 2, lift up. It's like that. And so put in the phrasing. So you go ahead and learn it. Take your time with it. Have fun with it. You want to sing it? Sing it. Okay. And when you think you're ready and you've got it, then come back and play it with me, and let's double check that you have the right notes and the right rhythms. And I am going to do the phrasing here. So we'll add that too. So I'll give us 3 counts because we come in on beat 4. 1, ready, go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.